Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Beta Breakdown. And in this episode, we are going to look at a feature that I think is going to turn a lot of people off. You can start guessing now, but it's something that I think a lot of people saw coming, literally saw coming, which I'll explain more in a second. But I want to introduce this to you. There's a few other things surrounding this change that are going to be happening as well that we'll talk about. And then I want to know your thoughts. We'll get there. I don't want to get ahead of myself. There's also a really funny poll about this feature that we'll look at as well, just to give you an idea of where other people are leaning on this. So without further ado, let's jump into it. If you're getting frustrated with empires and puzzles, let me just say that Gemstone Legends probably has the things you're looking for. They have a mercy system that guarantees a legendary hero after a certain amount of pulls, and we're not just talking about a weak legendary hero from a pre-selected list. They have a wish list that you can put any hero in the game on to boost your chances of pulling that specific hero. They take into account player feedback, and many of the changes that have gone live in the game were based on player feedback or were player suggestions to begin with. They're even going to give you a free $50 starter bonus just for downloading from one of the links in the description. And if the earlier stuff somehow wasn't enough, you can be a hero in wars even just using rare heroes only. They have tons of events that allow you to earn free 10 pulls and other very usable high value stuff. Gemstone Legends really has a lot going for it, so come check it out if you're curious to see why tens of thousands of people have left Empires and Puzzles to come play. Alright, so we'll look at the poll last since I think it's just kind of funny, but it has happened. The second tier of limit breaks have arrived. Let that sink in for a second. And when I said people literally saw it coming, there are on Legendary Heroes 4 of those chevron-shaped yellow chevrons, to use the correct term. And when you limit break, one of them turns pink, and people were like, oh God, what about the other ones? That's probably coming, right? So just that visual element clued us in that this would probably be arriving. There was that bug a while ago where people were receiving alpha ethers as rewards for wars and stuff, and they're like, oops, this was a big mistake. Wasn't supposed to happen. And here it is. So those things will be coming again, but basically, you have the ability to level up a legendary hero or rare, epic, or legendary hero even further. Obviously, that means there's probably going to be a quest with it, and that means that people who are willing to buy these, which there are still a lot of those people, creates a huge divide in the game, because if you're just earning them through the quest, you can maybe choose one hero, and then with all the nerfing going on, it just makes it more nerve-wracking to decide who to invest in, and then people who are buying them don't seem to care as much. They'll have a much bigger, stouter roster. I saw an image of one of these, and it was Anne with double limit break, and her stats, both attack and defense, were over 1100. I forget where HP was, but probably close to 2000. So it's just absurd. As part of this, so we'll look in detail about what's written here, but the other two things I want to mention before I forget are that there is going to be an Aether summon coming to the game using like Aether crystals as the currency. So they're not going to be using gems as the currency, which makes it kind of hard to decide how does this compare price-wise to hero summons, and I think that's exactly what they want. I've been noticing lately in the deals in the game are getting a little more or a little less generous. They're including food a lot more, which is just like a skip button, which is not as valuable as like getting another hero or something like that. In my opinion, at least, food is one of the lesser valuable resources when it comes to like ethers or even emblems to some degree. So yeah, there's going to be an Aether summon. Let me know if you want me to talk more about that in detail, but basically you can earn these ethers, and then essentially pulling a legendary hero, like something around 1%, is going to be some sort of alpha ether bundle or something, where maybe that means you can fully ascend one hero if you get that. Oh, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So as I go through these, please let me know your thoughts. I really want to see what the community, especially my community, thinks about these changes. The poll makes it pretty clear what many people think, but I want to hear from you guys. And the other thing that I wanted to mention before we look at the specific details on the page here, they're adding like Aether abilities, where I think with the second limit break comes an ability. So for Anne, this was a 25% attack boost. It wasn't totally clear. I mean, this still might change, so it doesn't matter how clear it is, but there are going to be other abilities. And it might be that it's right from the beginning. Some of them that are described are going to be, we'll look at those at the end actually, because it's worth seeing what's out there and you can decide what looks stronger, what looks weaker. But they look like passive abilities. And like for Ludwig, for example, he was just getting, upon entering the battle. So he's a slow hero. Upon entering the battle, he gets 6 turns of taunt. Just right away. You don't have to do anything for it. I don't think that you get all the mana buffs. You might. I'm not sure if you do, but he just gets 6-turn taunt for free, which is ridiculous. So those are the other two things, Aether Summon and these Aether abilities. We'll look at the abilities at the end after we talk about what's going to be part of this second round of limit breaks. Again, it's for rare epics and legendaries. It's using a new type of Aether. Of course, you need something additional now. And I think I saw that for legendary, you even have to use a 4-star ascension item as well, like a telescope or a tonic or something. All right, so let's take a look here. Using the combination of existing Aethers and new Aethers, you can unlock 5 additional levels. These come with a big stat boost. There's an outline below here that shows the percentage that you get. But as we've seen in the past, from 80 to 85, for example, though the stats you get from those 5 levels are equivalent to more like 15 to 20 levels, because each level gives you a far bigger stat boost than a typical level does. So it's kind of misleading to say level 85 because it's more like level 100 or 95 or something, and this is going to be even further, where if we're saying it's 20 per level, then now you're talking about a level 80 hero versus a level 120 hero with this added Aether ability. So yeah, we'll look at the poll in a little bit. Okay, so yeah, you have to have the first level of limit breaks done first. There's no element to the Aether, so they can be used for any hero. That's a very interesting point to notice. They were element specific before, now they're not. That's kind of nice, though I can't give too much credit because I think this new system is kind of bullshit and is part of what's really hurting the game. Part of it. Okay, so here's the cost. This is going to be... yeah, you can see enough. Let's just get it right to there. Okay, so rare hero is going to cost 1... What is that saying? Rare LBs? Maybe that's just what it costs for the second level, so it's going to be like 1 rare Aether and 1 alpha Aether. Costume, 1 and 1 again. Epic hero, 5. Rare, 1 epic, 3 alpha, etc., etc. Legendary, 10 rare, 5 epic, 1 legendary, and 10 alpha. So as rare as the legendary Aethers were, the 5-star Aethers, keep in mind this is probably going to be an even rarer item, and you're going to need 10 of them. So for sure, we're going to see bundles, we're going to see quests, we're going to see all sorts of opportunities to buy them like they've done with Aethers. So it's just making the pay-to-win gap vast, and it's already pretty vast what you can get in terms of competitive level just based on spending money. So yeah, I don't think it's a good direction for the game personally, but I want to know what you guys think. The costume there. So you still have to level up the 5 levels, of course. I'm pretty sure that the, what are they called? The Tomes of Experience are not going to be able to be used for those levels because they're so costly. So yeah, all the stuff that you need to use there. There's a breakdown of that, which I'll just show briefly. It's outlined for each element, so you can just pause here and, substitute whatever the element specific thing is with the different element. But this is a snapshot of rare. This is a snapshot of epic. So you can see like Hidden Blade for fire versus Warm Cape for ice. So pretty easy to substitute that. And for legendary, so fire ether 1, 2, yeah, mystic ring. So you do need to use a ascension item as well, which is just going to increase the need to buy ascension items and blah 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 blah. Food and iron costs, again, just pause this if you want to take a look at this. I'm not going to go in depth on this. It kind of just is what it is, nor do I have like a strong grasp of what 14,000 XP looks like in terms of feeders or how that corresponds with the current costs. XP per level. That's a lot of XP for legendary. Jeez. All right, stat boost. So legendary, you can see, is going to be 114% of what it currently is, so roughly a 15% boost. Costumes need to be limit broken twice. Basically one per costume, same as what it is now. Costume bonuses apply after limit breaking, so you get the limit broken stats and then the costume bonus on top of that. Okay, so the percentage of costume bonus applies to the inflated stats, which is great for costumes. Emblem boosts apply after as well, and not known when this is going to be out, but this game is moving very quickly lately, so if it was in for testing on the 23rd, then it will not be long before we see this actually in the game. So let's take a look at these Aether bonuses or whatever that I was describing before. And yeah, again, I really want to know what you guys think about these. I just realized I forgot to show you the poll. So this is the poll for the Aether summon. Well, we'll look at all the polls. So the Aether summon, being able to summon Aethers, we'll take a quick look at this. It's Aethers and trainer heroes. So these are the odds. Rare Aether combo. I don't know if it says what the combos are going to be. Yeah, so super alpha combo is 5. So even the 1% chance is half of a limit break. 5 alpha Aethers and a 4-star trainer. Like, that's not very good. And that's the best 1%. Like, you have a better chance of getting a 5-star in a summon. That's like 4% total for 5 stars, including Heroes of the Month and all that kind of stuff. But this is only 1% for half of a limit break. And what do people think? They absolutely hate it. 95% of people are opposed to this in some capacity, and 3% of people are positive, and those are probably just like the people that work for the company that are on the forum. All right, let's look at the other poll. All right, alpha Aethers in general, 94% of people are opposed, including myself, as you can see there. And then lastly, let's look at these Aether abilities. Okay, Aether powers. Again, 91% of people opposed. So they're most in favor of this, which is interesting. So one of these 20 Aether powers will be assigned to specific heroes, which will affect hundreds of heroes. I think these are just examples. At the start of each battle, this hero... Oh, okay. So no matter who the hero is, they get a buff for 6 turns. At the start of battle, this hero gains a buff for 6 turns. These are the abilities. 25% attack, 20% defense, rage, 20% attack and a further 1% increase each time they're hit. Bulwark, 15% defense, regen, regenerating health, boosted regen, Special skill damage 40% increase. Special armor 40% defense. Immunity to all status ailments for 6 turns. That is the strongest one, I think, so far. Because if you just have one of these, let's see, specific heroes. Yeah, so if you had like a defense with all different double limit broken heroes, it's just going to be ridiculous. We're not going to see that too often, but I'm just thinking that it will be out there. Ailment reflect. 6 turns. Reflect all cleansable status ailments to a random enemy. Passive mana gain, dodge, counterattack, damage reduction. I don't know if these are limited to hero type or if you get to choose. I highly doubt you get to choose, and I think it would be assigned based on, like, I don't really know. I guess they would have to go through and choose for each hero. But we all know that's not going to be very balanced because a lot of the changes they make are not very well balanced. Immunity to new fiends, plus 60% attack with reduced accuracy. Revive. Wow. Taunt, which I think from what I heard for Ludwig, that's what he gets. So 6 turns of taunt at the beginning of the battle. Knight's Endurance, 15% chance to drop any received damage to 1, and Vampire. Let's look at these additional notes. Disclaimer from staff. First of all, please keep in mind that all these things are not final and will be reviewed. Yeah, that would count for something if we hadn't seen so many half-baked changes go into the game. So that's the kind of thing that's supposed to inspire confidence but doesn't anymore because they have sabotaged their own reputation in that regard. People don't trust them anymore. All numbers are subject to change. How they interact with each other is subject to change. So I believe some balancing will happen still, but I think it's clearly there are dollar signs in the eyes of the people rolling this out, and that's what it's for. So keep that in mind with your decision making. We're aware that the introduction will add a great amount of complexity. After all, this will affect several hundred heroes in different ways all at once. Considering the scope, it's possible the number of corner case problems will pop up, even though we have done our best to check. But don't worry, we'll address these. Yeah, okay. Again, that would count for more if people had confidence in their ability to make decisions in the best interest of the player. While we strongly believe they will boost the game's experience and strategic depth, we also understand that depending on the kind of player you are, these may feel scary and unnecessary. We do empathize. So they have a good PR person who I've noticed lately with the Zynga announcements since they've taken full ownership. They have like a cuter way of trying to communicate things to seem a little bit more relatable to the reader and stuff like that. And this is one of those. We do empathize. It's like, you guys are super greedy. We'd like to ask that you head into testing with an open mind. Oh, I bet you would, because that really is more beneficial to your bottom line. When you don't like what you're seeing, please go ahead and drop suggestions. It might take a while for us to get to everything. We think the iterative process itself could also be fun as long as you're on board. It's like, God, come on. It's like we're all in this together, except they're the ones making hundreds of millions of dollars and the players are the ones spending the money, so not really equal there. We'd love to receive your feedback regarding which power a particular hero should receive. It's just making their job easier for them. Yes, I'm very pessimistic at this point, but I feel like they've earned that. Current assignments are not final. If you feel a hero would benefit from a different one, let us know the reasons. So yeah, crowdsourcing their own job, basically. A few more details we can share. The list of powers is neither final nor complete. Some of them may see slight changes. The 6-turn thing is ridiculous across the board because they are far from equal. 25% attack boost versus status ailment block. Like, those are vastly different in power. There will be a dedicated quest in which Aether crystals can be earned. However, this will not be released soon. Due to a variety of reasons, the Aether summon will open sometime after Alpha Ethers are introduced. It will be possible to earn Alpha Ethers through in-game loot from exactly which sources is yet to be decided. Players will be informed when that is hammered out. Alpha Ethers will most likely come to the live game before the quest or the Aether summon. If when this happens, all players will receive a one-time gift package. A number of Alpha Ethers. Wow, so exciting. Just enough to get you started so that when they give you 3 and you earn 5 from the quest, then that deal with 2 looks a lot sweeter, you know? Anyways, that's what we have. Huge change. Potentially the biggest change that has ever come to this game is happening now just because of how wide the gap is becoming. It's unprecedented, at least from my perspective, when you think of the the Aether abilities, in addition to the Aether summon, in addition to the continued stat boost over the top of a regular hero. So you had regular hero, emblems, first limit break, second limit break. We know the third limit break is coming at some point, and the game is just radically different, too radically different. So that's a lot of my thoughts. Some people express a degree of disdain for my pessimistic thoughts around the game sometimes, but I'm just trying to be honest with you. That's been my approach on the channel so far. Is I like to call it like I see it. I think the people that watch my videos enjoy that as well. I think it helps to have a dose of realness. So yeah, I'm not going to be the best cheerleader for all the things coming in the game, but I don't think that is good for the game either. So if you enjoyed the video, like the perspective, any of that kind of stuff, drop a like below. Leave a comment, let me know, letting me know your thoughts on these different things. And again, just a reminder, if you're feeling burned out by all this, come on over to Gemstone Legends. Literally 25,000 plus players from Empires and Puzzles have come over already. So yeah, it's got a lot of good stuff going on, and the developers are a totally different breed over there that regularly incorporate new changes to the game based on player feedback, etc., etc. So lots of videos to help you get started on that. If you're interested, download links in the description as mentioned before. You must use one of those download links in the description of this video if you want to get that free starter bonus, that free $50 starter bonus to get you moving. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the support, everything like that. And I will see you in the next video.